Teams 24 has officially come to an end, but we're going to be doing a 4-day recap of everything that happened during these exciting 4 days. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you drop a like, and most importantly, if you were there, let me know what your favorite memories were during this amazing 3 to 4 day, depending on who you were, event. Let's kick things off with day number 1. We started our day off not at the Venetian, but rather at Treasure Island across the bridge as Seabird Media kicked off their annual Partners Day. Now, this was the first time I attended this event, and let me tell you, it didn't let me down at all. There was a bunch of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, and it was a great session where we got to learn and see a little bit more of the entrepreneurial, a little bit more of the developer side of the house. I really, really enjoyed it. There were many partners there, a great lunch, great breakfast, and it was just a great opportunity to meet everybody, to kind of just slowly roll you into this whole crazy, chaotic week, and it was a blast. Now, I did unfortunately have to leave a little bit earlier because later in that day, I partnered up with Salto to eventually bring to you what we're calling Config and Cruise. And so over the week, I actually interviewed with 5 different people, and we drove around the Las Vegas Strip and we talked about everything happening in the Atlassian ecosystem. So make sure you stay tuned for those because we're going to be dropping those videos very, very soon. I did, though, that first Monday have to do 3 interviews and about an hour and a half of just driving around the Las Vegas Strip. I did so many loops around the Bellagio in Paris. It was awesome. We got a lot of B-rolls highlighting the Las Vegas Strip. So I'm very, very excited for this series and I can't wait to drop those videos. I will let you know when they drop. Next up, after all of that, I finally had a chance to literally run to registration, get my badge, and then run to the other side of the Venetian and go to the community welcomes dinner. Now, this is the first time that the community members and creators got together. And this is something that Atlassian puts on, from what I'm understood, every single year. It's just a little welcome happy hour type of dinner where all the community leaders and content creators get together at a local restaurant and just mingle for a few hours. And this was amazing because me and 200 of my closest friends that I've never really physically met in real person, we got to, again, kick things off, really slowly ease our way into what was going to be the most chaotic week of our lives. And it was just fun to connect with everybody, see everybody, meet everybody, hug everyone. It was just an amazing experience. Hands down, one of my favorite nights from the beginning. Now, around 9:30 p.m., the great folks over at Revise took a couple of content creators and we went across the street to the Sphere. And so we got to experience the Sphere for the first time. This was an amazing experience. If you've never been to the Sphere, the closest thing that I can describe it is soaring over California in Disney's California Adventure, or just soaring over on the East Coast. And it's this very immersive experience with this giant beyond IMAX screen that just immerses you into the storytelling. If you are in Vegas, I don't know that I would pay the $80 or whatever they charge for it. If you've done soaring, any of the 2 soaring rides, you basically have lived the experience. But if you've never done the soaring and you want to experience it, highly recommend you check it out. This is something you want to at least experience once in your life. Really, really fun. And that pretty much brought day 1 to a conclusion. Really, really long night. I got back to my hotel around midnight, and it was a very, very long and tiring day. Starting off day 2, we kicked things off 8 a.m. bright and early. We had a community leaders workshop. So we spent about 8 hours with my 200 closest friends here, and we just learned about the state of the union of the creators program and the community leaders, which, by the way, we are now rebranded as champions. So the 2 have officially become one. And then we just learned about everything else that is coming down the pike here with respect to what you as viewers can expect from the champions and basically community leaders and creators in the next 12 months. So very, very exciting things there to share. And I can't wait until they actually become available. But hint, hint, the biggest drop is that your profiles in community.atlassian.com, if you have multiple profiles, they're going to finally be able to become one. And they're really introducing this concept of gamification with respect to how you earn badges and how you, I don't want to use show off, but I'll put it in air quotes, show off your achievements within the Atlassian ecosystem. So exciting things happening there. After that event, The expo kicked off 3 p.m. So I was right there, front and center, welcoming and rushing into the expo as everybody came in. 4,000, actually, it was almost 5,000 people that attended Teams 24 this year. So watching 4 to 5,000 people just rushing through two tiny little doors, that was a lot of fun. But I got to capture those moments and watch people as they first walked in for the first time. Now, the expo, not a big fan of the organization this year. I think they could have. I don't know if it felt bigger or just felt awkward. I liked last year's a little bit more, but it was still, the energy was high. All the vendors showed up in full force, and it was just an amazing time. Now, around 3:30, the Jura Life crew and we got together to do our very first Team 24 kickoff live stream. Couple of hiccups that we ran into, finding power and whatnot, but we got it all done, and we had our very first live stream from the expo floor. So first time for the Jura Life, so that was very exciting. After that, we all went to our very first keynote of the Team 24, where we got to meet Dr. Feifei, who's one of the leaders, pioneers of AI. And we got to hear a very interesting perspective. Now, if you've ever been in the media, you know what the thoughts are around AI, and there's a lot happening, right? There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of insecurities, there's a lot of uncertainty with respect to AI. And I've been paying close attention. I listen to Sam Altman. I've been listening to a bunch of thought leaders within the space of AI. But this is the first time where I actually felt optimistic for AI. Dr. Feifei, I think, did a really, really good job compelling the argument as to why AI is going to be beneficial. And she particularly spoke about how education is going to have to change. And this is something that I'm going to dig deeper with me and my family, because it doesn't make sense to spend the first 18 to 23 years of your life learning something that ChatGPT can answer in seconds. So it definitely brought home some thoughts of how do we, especially since I homeschool my kids, think differently about how we educate our children and how AI is going to play a role in that. So very, very thought-provoking conversation. I really, really enjoyed it. And again, I'm so much more optimistic about AI than I was just a week ago. And to close off the night, which, believe it or not, Tuesday, the official day one of Team 24, was my lightest day. To close off the night, I was on stage with Resolution doing a demo of their NASA, Not Another Stand-Up app, where we showcased how to use and how easy it is to use their NASA app. So that was a lot of fun. Ronnie and I were on stage there just supporting the Resolution team, who, by the way, made it possible for me to be at Teams 24. So special shout out to the entire Resolution team for bringing me out to Vegas. Can't thank you enough. All right, let's jump over to day 3, where we kick things off with a live stream. So I got to sneak in a little early into the expo floor to get everything set up, because we learned our lesson from the first live stream, which was you need a few minutes to set up. So special shout out to Fede and the entire team at Dizer, who let us borrow their booth in the morning to do our basically Team 24 official kickoff live stream, where we talked about the predictions of what we were expecting to hear from Atlassian. Once we finished that live stream, I quickly went, grabbed some breakfast, and then made my way over to the keynote, where this is going to be the founders keynote, where we actually learned and heard all of the new announcements that Atlassian is going to be dropping over the next 12 months. Now, I am going to be making a dedicated video for that, so make sure you take a second here to subscribe and like this video, and hit that bell notification so that you are notified when I drop that new video. After the keynote, I had the pleasure of being on my very first panel at Team 24. I was on a certification panel where I talked and shared some of my lessons of being a new time certified Atlassian professional. And this was really fun because I just got my first ACP, and it was an opportunity for me to kind of give a little bit back to the community, talk about the thought process as to why I did the certification, why I did my live streams, how I studied, how I prepared, and some pro tips that I was able to share with the community. So that was a lot of fun. Special thank you to Marie for putting this all together. After that, I went back into my Tesla and we did another round of Config and Cruise with Jimmy Seddon. So that was a lot of fun. Again, those videos are going to be dropping very, very soon. And so make sure you stick around, because I will be letting you know. Follow me on LinkedIn. I will notify you when those videos drop. I'm very, very excited for these interviews. After that, I got interviewed. Martin Siebert, the guy that put together that Monday Partners Day with Siebert Media over at Treasure Island, he interviewed me, and we talked a little bit about how my channel got started and how Chris Cook and Funman Andy had such a big, huge impact on my life. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for when that interview drops. So make sure you follow me on social media, specifically on LinkedIn. I will be sharing as soon as those videos drop. After that, we did yet another live stream from the expo floor. This time we were over at the Trundle booth, and Sajid joined us as a guest as we talked about our reactions to all the announcements from the keynote. So that was a lot of fun. Make sure you go check those all out over on the Jira Life. Then we had a happy hour. And now this year's happy hour was really weird because last year the happy hours happened like at various bars. So it was like 2 or 3 different marketplace vendors. They bought out a restaurant slash bar in the Venetian, and people went there. But this year they just had alcohol throughout the show floor, and they had like little signs. So there was no congregation, there was no really like meeting people. So it was kind of weird this time around, but it was still a cool happy hour nonetheless. And finally, to close off the night, and probably the highlight of my night, and probably something that I'm gonna do a separate video on, was I got to attend the Community Leaders Award Night. Now, I knew walking into this that I had been nominated, but I wasn't sure what to expect. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that I got the inaugural Standout Creator Award for 2024. This is hefty, and this is one of my proudest achievements. I basically got this for just having the most amount of content, biggest impact to the Atlassian community. And so I'm very honored and humbled to have been the first person in the world to receive that award there. And the bar is set so high for me now that I'm excited for the new stuff that's going to be coming. But again, very thankful and very grateful for this opportunity. I don't win a whole lot of awards, and so this is like one of like 3 or 4 awards that I've won in my entire lifetime. So it's just special to me. I got to meet with the entire Atlassian leadership team, took pictures with them. It was awesome. Just definitely, out of all the nights, other than like my wedding and the birth of my children, this is like top 5 nights of my life. So special thank you to everybody that made this happen. Special shout out to Lauren, who I know was definitely rallying for me. All right, and that basically concluded day Wednesday. We ended up going to a nightclub within the restaurant. It was fun, lots of dancing, lots of just chatting with folks, and just hanging out with Atlassian's leadership team. Everybody came down. It was an amazing night, one definitely that I'll never be forgetting. And we're making our way over to day 4, the final day of Team 24, where we kick things off with Jason Sudeikis and Brendan Hunt, aka Coach Beard and Ted Lasso, as they were joined on stage with co-founder Scott Farquhar. And they talked about the little bit of the history of how Ted Lasso came to be, how they met, and all that great stuff. So it was a really, really fun and exciting keynote. Great to see. I was very, very close to the front, and great to see Jason Sudeikis and Brendan Hunt. That was a lot of fun. After that, I went to my second panel. This one was all about creators, where I got to share my experience as a creator. So I was joined with some of my favorite creators on stage, and we basically just talked about what it is to make content, how companies can benefit from it, and why content creation is good for businesses. And so there's a lot of cool opportunities. I think that one was fully recorded, so I'm going to be, as soon as I get my access to them, I'll be dropping them here as well. So make sure you stick around, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification so you can get notified when those videos drop. And after that, Teams kind of just start slowly coming to an end. Teams is really just a one-day event in my opinion. For normal folks, it's the whole day Wednesday, a little bit of Tuesday, and a little bit of Thursday. And after my panel, we had lunch, and after lunch, really things just start winding down. At 2 p.m., the expo floor closes, and the Jura Life crew and I, we went outside the expo floor, and we set up shop, interviewing folks as they were leaving, getting those reactions of Team 24. So make sure you check out, again, that video over on the Jura Life, because that was a very fun and exciting time to just close up say goodbye, really, to everybody that attended. Some of our closest friends were all there in attendance, just coming out of the expo floor. And so we snagged a couple of people. We had some ice cream with a few folks, and just a really good time to just really end the Team 24 experience from within the expo floor, because Team's not quite over. Even though the expo's over, there's a big gap of time, usually about 4 to 5 hours, between the close of expo and the start of Bash. But before the Bash party, special shout out to Revise, who actually put together and hosted a creators happy hour over in the Palazzo. And so we went over there, got a chance to just hang out again with our creators. And I think these are such magical and special moments, because we as creators, and like me as a YouTuber, this is a very lonely thing, right? I'm just here talking to the camera, not really interacting with anybody else. There's nobody here in my office, in my studio, as I'm making this video. Sure, there's a lot of interactions happening on LinkedIn and on Slack, but very rarely do we all get to come together and actually spend time together. So again, special thank you to Revise for putting these events on the Sphere, and now this one as well, this happy hour, because it just gave us an opportunity to just really bond with those people that we spend so much time with virtually, that we just now got to spend time physically, hugs, and just being able to just be with each other was just an amazing experience. And so again, special thank you to Revise for that happy hour. After that, we all just kind of walked on over to the Win, which is where the bash party was at this year. This bash party did not disappoint. It was amazing. It was at the XS nightclub inside the Win, and Atlassian pulled all the stops there. Amazing party. We had cabanas for the creators. I had my special wristband to let me in to the cabana, so I was very, very happy. Mission accomplished. As last year, I was completely not allowed to hang out with any of the community leaders or creators because I wasn't one last year. And so this year, special thank you again to Lauren for making this all happen. I'm very, very excited about that. But yeah, that basically brought Teams 24 to an end. We finished the nightclub, super, super tired. I probably got like maybe 4.5 hours of sleep every single night. I averaged out about 17,000 steps a day. And so definitely very tired. I took all day Friday and Saturday to just recuperate because my body is just still not ready for hitting Monday morning. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was long. I'm going to see if I break it up into certain sections here. But this was the Team 24 weekend review, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you had any memorable moments that you want to share, let me know in the comment section down below. And that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.